So the next thing that we need to do before breaking out and is looking a little bit ahead at this afternoon and the work that we want to do. So so this is thank you. So this is part of the agenda. So in a few minutes we'll walk to the Purdue Memorial Union, which is the building next to the Stewart Center. And outside on the stairs, we are going to take a group picture of all the participants, and then we'll go to lunch. And at 1:15, please, we would like to start on time on the breakout sessions. We have 3, one on hazards, the other one on resources, the other one on habitats. Each one is in a different room with different groups and moderators, and you have the list of participants on your agenda. The first one, hazards, is in room 278, resources 279, and habitats 218. And the idea behind these breakout sessions is to first try to understand what are the things we know, because that is going to lead us to what are the issues that we do not know. And that's what is needed for research, which is the actual outcome that we would like to have from this workshop, is what are the research questions and what are the priorities that we need to address such that permanent extraterrestrial habitats can be a possibility down the road. And tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit more this afternoon, what we'll try to do is once we have identified these research questions, the idea is how we make them happen. What are the groups that ideally we would like to put together? And I think that this is an ideal group because we have a nice mixture of government, industry, and academia. And what are the things that we should pursue such that we can address these research questions? Where we are coming from, and that's a little bit why we have decided on these 3 themes, is that if we want to build permanent habitats outside the Earth, we as engineers, we can look at how we've been operating, particularly from the civil engineering point of view. We started with the what we call the factor of safety, right? We said, well, what are the components that we need to design and how we design for such that they reach a factor of safety. Then in civil engineering, we quickly realized that that was not sufficient. And then we moved into performance-based. So it was not a factor of safety, but how well we wanted our designs to work. But then we realized that that was not sufficient either, because then we have problems with systems. And then Katrina came along, and we realized that our infrastructure is not isolated single components. It's a system. And we move in civil engineering to systems. And then because we also had Katrina, and we had Tuhuku, and now we have Michael, the issue is not necessarily what will go wrong, is that it will. It's more a question of when. So the question that we are putting ourselves is the concept of resilience. So problems are going to happen. The question is how the habitat, the system, how well it's going to recover. And you look at how well we are doing this thing as engineers. Here on Earth, we are not doing it very well. Our infrastructure, our cities, take a long time to recover. And they don't reach the peak that they had before this natural hazard or whatever happened. We don't reach that. Here on Earth, we have the advantage that we have resources. We can go there in hours, minutes, maybe days, right? But we can go there, and we can try to invest and have our systems, our cities to recover. If we are looking at our habitats on the Moon and Mars, the question is, are we going to be using the same parameters and the same thinking that we have on Earth? Probably not. So as we were thinking about how to approach this problem, how we have to change our way of thinking, this is how these themes came about. One is the hazards, right? What are the requirements? We learn about requirements. What are the requirements? What are the hazards? What are the things that this infrastructure that we want to build need to be designed for? Second thing is that clearly we are not going to be able to rely on resources that come from Earth. We need to rely on local resources. And second is that there has to be some economic driving force behind such that these habitats are going to be, from a society point of view, they have to be attractive. There has something there that is going to provide some driving economic force behind that. And then certainly we need to look at what sort of habitats. And right now we are looking, our group is looking at two. One on the surface, with all the advantages and disadvantages that those has. And the other one is underground. We are looking at lava tubes as an immediate shelter for astronauts that is going to provide shelter for some of these hazards. So what we would like is that to identify what are the research questions in each of these themes. And then after the break at 3:15, we get together at 3:30. And we would like that each session, each breakout session, provides a summary, a presentation with the summary discussion that each of these group had, and then we would open up for discussion. So maybe we have 2 hours, plenty of time for discuss. Maybe during the first 45 minutes, an hour, 15 minutes per group, a presentation about what has been the focus of discussion. And then it would be good to have this discussion that we all look for, trying to combine and trying to discuss things together. At the end of the day, we're going to have a poster session. There's going to be some finger food and some drinks, and then we'll get to know everybody a little bit better. So right now, we'll get together. We'll follow Anahita. And we'll get to the Purdue Memorial Union where we take the photo. And then at the same building, we are going to have lunch at the West Faculty Lounge. So I would like to thank, sorry, go ahead.
Will this room be locked during the activity?
Yes. So we can leave computers and things like that here, yes. So I'd like to thank all the speakers, the panelists, and all of you for such a wonderful and inspiring session. Thank you all.